college kids too. I'm gonna have one of those same college kids for a couple of weeks. You'll see Richard carrying some signs here shortly.
Okay. Well, and I will tell them, he's available for 10 minutes now.
There you go. I need it.
So, anytime you use it, just for time that I don't have to pay.
What's that? Oh, is she?
She finally got released to drive.
Good.
Miss Larson, how are you doing? How's those family members?
Damn,
don't you know?
No, you just don't even have it in the last few weeks, just like
That's a good thing.
she's busting it.
And how was your open house? It was fine.
Well, I got back with the bang. I got left, but,
It's a lovely yard, isn't it? I mean, she doesn't understand. It's $1 million yard with a
Yes.
house on it. You know,
I did that open house for Karen 10 years ago.
right.
Before they
We made it look a little nicer.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
They built that attic.
They built the attic up and took in what was the garage space.
Right, and that makes a big difference because even 10 years ago, no one likes that room with fireplace.
Right.
It's just.
Well, with 3 kids, it was perfect because the kids had all that old garage space and upstairs. So they had one that was a teenager, they came upstairs, the 2 12 and 13-year-olds were down, which basically gave them their own den to play in.
I actually got my furniture in there while I was there.
Right.
I was thinking I could live there.
It's perfect for someone.
Well, the yard is beautiful.
The yard's
It's huge, so, and the kitchen's great.
Yeah.
And the lights are
So
so
the
funky.
master bathroom, while it's small, is all redone so nicely.
So it'll be right for somebody.
We need someone here soon, though.
Yeah, and I'll do it again now that I'm better at getting in and out.
Yeah. I found the extra keys too. I did find all but the 3 extra keys. Well, that's already happened before.
Well, that's why I think it felt a lot better.
Thank God you really can fit to a dog.
I know. I was joking about it, and I'm like, I don't know if I can get it, but I'm glad she did.
Okay, we ready to go?
We're going.
All right. Hi, Star. Welcome. How are you doing today? We're not filming today.
We are.
Oh,
We're
we're
in.
here. Okay. We're gonna get started. First of all, I gotta talk about the numbers because I want to re-emphasize. I still think this is a message you need to be sending, to buyers and sellers every day. We talked about this in January at the sales meeting, and basically what I've been saying is happening. I want you to know that I know you all think I'm brilliant, but I mean exactly what I've been saying is happening in the marketplace. So if you look at the sales that ended April 30th, and here's what I want to say. We are talking about trying to come up with a weekly synopsis, a little 1-page newsletter to give out to you guys every Thursday. It'll kind of be the summary of what we talked about at the sales meeting and then kind of anything up and down, whatever. Maybe you could share some of that information with your clients. But every indicator in the single family housing market, especially the markets that we focus on inside the loop, is positive. The number of sales is up, the dollar volume is up, the average price is up, the median price is up. Doesn't get much better than that. 4th month in a row, these things have happened. So single family all the way around fairly positive. The headline that they came up with was talking about the inventory. And it was a little misleading, and I want to make sure that you leave here with a certain amount of clarity over it. But overall, I think if people ask, how is the market? Single family housing market, especially inside the 610 loop, is relatively strong and stronger than it's been in about 18 months and has been on a 4-month trend of positive upward movement of prices, upward movement of number of transactions, upward movement in median price, and a reduction of basic inventory in the markets that we're serving. Rental market is still soft. Townhouse market is still soft. Commercial market is still soft. All of those townhouse markets are still soft. Despite even this little bit, you have to extrapolate a little bit more of what this means. But yes, of course, in the rental market, the prices are down because the inventory continues to rise where the demand can't meet the inventory. So, And the townhouse and stuff, it's a big area. I want to show you what's basically happening in area 9 and 16. These indicators all up. They're up between existing houses and new construction. It's all basically fine. When we talk about single family housing, the numbers up. I'm selling a little more new construction right at this moment because the prices have come in alignment compared to a year ago. But you can see even new construction townhouses. These are the remnant townhouses left over from the end of 15 and 16. We haven't started that many. Permits, City of Houston, have not reached yet the level they were in 2005. Okay, so we're not replacing the housing stock quick enough, but we had too much at the end of 15 and 16 to begin with. So I think it's a normalization and a balancing of the market. Certainly new construction townhouses are off and prices of the rental market are down compared to a year ago. If I had a bungalow in the Heights that used to rent for $2,400, we're struggling to get $2,200. I had $2,200 last year, I'm gonna get $2,000 this year. I mean, there may be, and that's in the mid-range. The $900 price range might be going up, but it's still a little softer. One good thing in the high end, we used to have a lot of those new constructions that we flooded the market with at $6,000, $7,000, and $8,000 last year. Those have basically gone away. And so the $6,000 rental market's fairly okay. It's relatively balanced. So no great difference between existing housing and new construction compared to this. On the prices, the same thing. Basically all the indicators were fine. The average price per square foot was up. The days on the market are down. The pending listings are up. The media focused on this right here. The average, the active listings were up. More inventory means we can sell more houses later. And it wasn't necessarily a negative headline. It was an indicator that sales can continue to increase if you have more houses to sell. But I didn't want people to be misled with how this works. So we're going to come back to that number in a moment. But overall, prices have held firm, inched their way up a little bit, except of course in the rental market where they continue to decline. It was the same between existing and new construction. I'm not going to get hung up into that deal. All right. So the number of transactions, same thing, every indicator up. So the year-to-date numbers mimic what were January, February, March, and April. All 4 months were an upward trend. Same exact trend compared to 1 year ago. Wouldn't worry about that. It's still not. Year-to-date, all lovely. Townhouses down, new construction townhouses down 23% compared to last year, which was down from 13 and down from 14 and down from 15. So we've been down for quite a while. Townhouse market is still oversaturated. Okay, year to date, not going to hang up here. Let's move on to the next slide that I want to show. Okay, so when you look at this historical trend, keep going up if we can get a little up. Remember that in the benchmark year of prices, average price, median price, also appeared to be the high. Remember, high of 13, high of 14, but the high for transactions, prices, everything was this June of 15. Oil's at $100. We start declining for 6 solid months, 180, 60, 40, 26. Bottom out about here, work our way back out. So we have not yet reached this number, but I think we will soon. We haven't gotten to the June of 2017 yet or whatever. But when you look at the sales of February, March, April, May, you can still sell. The number of sales is still greater. We get under contract in March and April, and we start closing in end of May, June, July, and August. The activity was 30 to 45 days beforehand. Busiest months of the year are still June, July, closings, June, July, and August, June, July, and August. Keep going down, and we're fixing to get to what is the next June, July, and August. So keep in mind, I think we're going to continue to see some pretty impressive numbers with regards to sales as we hit the summer months, whatever. So I expect all that to be relatively positive in the marketplace. Continuing on, the thing that's most important, of course, is when you get to our months that we're at. So you're going to page
66.
66. 66.
Oh wait,
You're
there it
faster
was.
than I am. Did y'all get that?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, when you break out area 9, 16, and 17, and you take them all out again. Get me out to here so that we can keep going.
Oh, you want to see 16
Yeah,
and 17?
yeah,
I see,
yeah.
I see, I see.
Yeah. All right, so if we compare area 9, so number of sales has gone up, average price has gone up, median price has gone up, price per square foot has gone up, the shrinkage, price between list price and actual price is going up. Number of new listings is down compared to a year ago. The number of total listings is down compared to a year ago. The number of pending sales is up, and the number of the days on the market is up. So even though citywide the inventory is up, in area 9, the amount of active listings continues to decline. As we talked about last month and the month before, the thing to watch is this inventory number. That will tell you, the foretelling future if a price is going to continue to rise or they can going to continue to linger on the market. And as well as, demand is going up, but inventory continues to go down. So we're selling more houses and we're not replacing the number of listings like we had at the end of 15 or in 2016, the same time a year ago. So this, I think, is probably the most important indicator to watch over here. While the citywide sales are good, the Heights area continues to balance itself with inventory and pending sales, so that this shrinkage is what you want to see. And I would tell you right now, I consider this to be about healthy. You get too far down there, every seller is going to want $20,000 over the asking price or something. So let's just don't go back there for a while. Let's hang out and have a relatively balanced market. So people ask me all that, what's the days on the market? What's the days on the market? And I'm just telling you, great listings sell in 3 days and bad listings stay on the market for 9 months. And then they average those things out and it makes it sound like we've got these certain number of days. So the importance of pricing is significantly, it's the number one factor that's going to determine this sort of thing. And we all know, we've seen it time and time again. You don't want to be on the market so long, because the longer you're on the market, the longer you're going to stay on the market. Pricing things right, not overly aggressive. Now, while things are great, they're not great. They're just better than they were, because it wasn't so good perhaps a year ago or at the end of 2015. And so it's balance, I think, is the way. It's not tilting towards the buyer, it's not tilting towards the seller. Of course, we should, the buyers that want to offer $200,000 and $300,000 less than the list price. Not much I can say to those people. Thank you for your offer and move on down the road. But I think still people are gonna, very few people want to pay full price. Most people want to negotiate. Sellers need to learn to negotiate. It's the art of negotiation. That's called balanced marketing over here. So seems to be fine in area 9. Area 16 is about the same. The numbers were all up a little bit. The number of new listings was down. The total number of listings were down. We're balancing over here. Area 17 was statistically about the same. Wasn't better, wasn't worse, but it was already in pretty good check over here at about 5.7% of the inventory versus the sales. So it's holding firm, but it's not on fire necessarily. And this is averaging all of new construction and all of existing construction. New construction still only equals about 10% of these numbers, okay? It's not statistically weighing it one way or the other. We can break it back out, and sometimes I like to just look at new construction. Go to page 74, because I'm just kind of curious what's happening. Remember, the price of a lot of the new construction has come back in line. They started out too high. So if you started at $1,650,000, and now you're at $1,495,000, you've made the adjustment already. So the number of new construction sales in area 9 was actually down last month compared to the year before, but the prices, the median prices were fine, and the average price was up, and the list price to sales price was up. Here you go. The number of new construction on the market today compared to 1 year ago is almost 40% less new inventory of new construction than it was 1 year ago. Only 91 new things came on compared to that. So the total number of new construction is off by about 100 units, or about 25%. So we're definitely not replacing them at anywhere near the pace with which we were before, and we're coming in alignment so that the days on market is going down. This is the number of pending sales, the days on the market, and we're coming in check. So definitely not seeing a whole lot of new construction coming online. Now, I do think the Modern Bungalows of the world and the Sullivan Brothers of the world are selling their houses and will replenish the stock, especially as the prices continue to rise at the end of 2017 here. So not like we're not going to have more inventory, but I wouldn't, if I were a builder today, and I were a well-established builder today, I wouldn't want to put my house on the market for $1.1 million and get it under contract if I thought I could get $1.175 5 months from now, and it's not going to be ready for 5 months anyway. Why do you want to screw with the buyer? Why do you want to sell it for $1.1 million when you can get $1 million? If you inherently, I mean, people bought oil last week for $45, and yesterday it traded for $50. It went up by 10%. It's a commodity. These are commodities the same way. But I think you'll see fewer and fewer builders put their houses on the market too soon if they think the market's rising. So it'll be more and more difficult. And I think you'll see the housing stock that's replaced with the guy that missed the Modern Bungalow house for $1.089 is going to get to pay $1.189 when they come on the market 6 months from now. So the bargain is on the table at the moment, unless something catastrophic happens. Area 16, about the same. I mean, we're still the number of new houses in Area 16 that came on the market this month versus the year before was less than half, 33 versus 71. The total number of new construction is still down. All this was a good indicator if you're Michael Coy or Robert Covington or one of these guys building in Area 16 per year. Area 17 is about the same, getting a little better. So every indicator of Area 9, 16, and 17 was proving that it was coming in balance. We're seeing the more stabilization of a market. It's slightly healthier. It gets a little bit healthier every month, but it's modest growth, which is probably the best for our industry. If you don't like big zigzags, the worst thing that can happen to all of us is if oil goes to $80 a barrel. Is anyone that thinks that oil's going to stay at $80 a barrel is a fool, because it will drop back down and it will create more uncertainty. You're much better off if it hovers around 50, it goes to 51, end of the summer, goes to 55. I mean, we want it to hover around there. Sharp increase is not necessarily going to do us any favors at the moment. They do say, for sustained prosperity, that oil has to be at about $65 a barrel. I don't think it's going to be at $65 a barrel for any length of time anytime soon, but we're learning to adjust to $50 a barrel a day. And they can make $1 billion instead of $7 billion for it. And I'm not going to feel too sorry for it. Okay, questions about the state of the market. Didn't talk about Galveston, didn't talk about Cinco Ranch is still weak, Woodland's still a little overbuilt, those sort of things, price point sensitive. Overall, state of the market, good, getting better every month, balancing out, relatively stable. Single family housing. Wouldn't invest in a lot of townhouses quite yet. Might buy some land. You might see more people buying land, thinking that 1 year from now, and land still is probably off good 20%, unless you're in the heart of West U or something of that nature.
Do you have enough lots in the Heights?
I mean, I think there are enough lots in the Heights. There's not enough builders in the Heights left. I mean, you could name 15, you might could name 10, but I mean, most, even the Claude Arnolds and the Southlands of the world aren't going to build a spec house right this second.
Right.
They're going to build a custom house. They might buy a lot. But most of the new construction that we're seeing is custom driven, and they're able to buy a lot today because they're not competing with those same builders that they used to. Yes, Mark?
So those numbers are just for single family?
This is single family, yes. We have, it's a 200-page report. You care about something else?
No, I was just wondering.
Yes, these are single family. When we have the townhouse numbers, so I had pulled up townhouse, just go to the townhouse next, just because I hit market for it.
That's okay. I was just wondering if those numbers would be explained by townhomes.
No, they're broken out completely. They're broken up completely.
What page you want?
Well, I mean, the problem does come in when it's not a
77.
true townhouse, but it's on a small lot. I mean,
Yes.
If it's connected,
right,
it's a townhouse.
but what I'm saying is, you know, they're single family and they look just like a townhouse.
25.
That does
Yeah.
skew the number a little bit.
It can skew in a little bit in the heart of a 25-foot wide Sullivan thing, whatever.
Yeah.
This is townhouses here. So here's area 9. We sold fewer townhouses in area 9. This is all new and old townhouses. The price went down, the median price went down, the average price went down. Now we're balancing out the number of new listings was down slightly, but the average listing, the active listings, total number of listings in townhouses, area 9, is still slightly higher today than it was 1 year ago. Okay, even though we haven't added a lot of new houses. This is mix of new and old, and new only made up about 10% of this number, so we're still adding resale townhouses back into this deal. A lot of those resale townhouses, let's be honest, were oil and gas people making very big bonuses in 15 and 16 and bought a townhouse and no longer have a job, or if they have a job, it doesn't pay near what it paid a year and a half ago. And many of those people bought their townhouse at a high. Look, we follow it all the time. There's 6 townhouses. They listed for $599,000. The first guy paid $610, remember, in 2014. By the end of 2015, the middle unit was selling for $550, and the last unit sold for $505. That guy's $105,000 upside down than what the first one, right? Don't forget about all that. So a lot of people are still trying to sell their oil at $75 a barrel, and it's trading for $50. And they're gonna have a harder time to do that. But if the townhouse market has not significantly shown any improvement in 2017. We're selling a fair number of units, but it's still the people that are stressed. There was too much inventory, and that buyer was the weakest buyer in the marketplace. So it's still, I consider it stressful. Area 16 and 17 were about the same. 16, same thing. We sold statistically the same number. We sold 82 versus 80. The price went down. The median price went down. The average price went down. I mean, statistically, Montrose and the Heights are about the same when it comes to townhouses. It wasn't. I don't see it getting dramatically better. Okay, it's not getting worse, but it's not getting any better. Okay, the only thing that's getting better is that the number of new townhouses coming on the market is, we're not replenishing the new housing stock, but people are stressed in their townhouse and they can't sell them, and they're still gonna have stuff. If they bought in 13 and 14 or beginning of 15, they either need to take their loss now or they need to rent their unit and move on down the road. For probably, we'll have to get the new stock in 2018, and prices continue to rise in 2018. It's all a function of land. Remember that the guy is relatively screwed if the builder in 13 or 14 paid $68 for dirt and now can buy the dirt for $42. He can build the same unit instead of paying $590, instead of charging $599. Now he can still sell that unit for $539 because he paid less for the dirt to begin with. So it's the inherent risk of the townhouses to begin with. But single family housing, doing fine. It's the same thing. The nicest ones though sell the fastest, and the unremodeled projects, they have a tough deal. We still want us to have a little mechanism when your single family house or your listing's been on for 30 days, we need to reboot. We need listing 2.0 and do something different. And I'm telling you, we gotta. If not, it's insanity to think much is going to change. So we need an action plan, of week 1, put on, week 2, email blast and broker open house, adjust accordingly from the comments after 2 weeks, and week 3 and 4. But by week 4, we gotta do something. You gotta paint something, move something, change something. You're gonna have to do something. Or you're gonna be sitting there 90 days, or it's gonna be listed with somebody else in 6 months and you didn't get anything because the buyer will get frustrated.
Can you just tell me a little bit about your conversations with your sellers when they really see their property is something fabulous. And,
Yeah. I sit there, so I'm listing 811 Columbia. It's going on the market. It's a resale Allegro house. It's fabulous. If it were 20, 13, and 14, it's fabulous. It has 12-foot ceilings. It has the most amazing backyard, a swimming pool, an oversized garage apartment, a generator, a wine room, porches everywhere, the most greatest summer kitchen with little gas lamps and lights. It's just fabulous. It's fabulous. But it's a 10-year-old Allegro house. It has the most elaborate stained mahogany cabinetry, dark mesquite countertops, beautiful red marble in the master bathroom, and these yellow walls. And I go and tell them, you have a beautiful house, and I think it's beautiful. And all of those things we sit and talk to. But when I average the 10-year-old Allegro houses that have resold in the last 8 months, they've averaged about $285 a foot. Of course, they want $400 a foot. And I'm just going, here's the reality of what people are getting. You bought this lovely stained mahogany wood and this mesquite countertop, and nobody wants it. They don't want it. They want white marble and white subway tile and white Carrera this, and that's what they want. And they're going to walk in your house and they're going to say, it's beautiful, but it's going to cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars to change your stained woodwork and change your mesquite countertop and change your red marble. And you either will sell it in the first day or 2 or 3 if someone who's 60 years old that likes that mahogany mesquite, or this is my company, or we will leave it on 30 days and we will pour it off and we will paint everything white and change out the countertop. So we can probably raise the price by $75,000, and I think it'll sell easier. And I told my people that. Not to sell until October or November in reality. So we're going to try this 30 days. And so we're going on for $1,495,000. We have the same conversation. Isn't my pool worth anything? Yes, it's worth about $20,000. Isn't my garage apartment I paid $100,000 worth anything? Yeah, it's worth about $25,000. It's just, people aren't willing to pay you what you paid for it 10 years ago. It's a 10-year-old swimming pool. It's a 10-year-old garage apartment that not everyone needs to begin with. They're going to want it. They're not going to want to pay for it. And then they'll go and say, but what about your listing on 6.5? It's $1.5 million, and it does have a pool and a generator and a summer kitchen and a garage apartment, but it's 10 years newer, and it's white, and it hasn't sold either. So don't compare me to that one. Let's compare to 1028 7.5 that had the pool and the Viking range and the stained woodwork that got, $283 a foot with the main band on. So I think all I can do is show them the marketplace, and they wanted to list for more, and I'm going, I think you should take your high price and list with Ashton Martini, and I'll be the second guy. Because I don't have any need to be the first guy who spends a lot of effort. It's unrealistic to think that it's going to sell for that. The marketplace will tell you. If I've underpriced it, you're going to have multiple offers and people will overpay. But I still think it's smarter to list for $1,495,000. Someone's going to want all those amenities and maybe overlook the stained woodwork than it is to try and go and think that I'm going to get all that money back that they put in there 10 years ago. Because there's something it's a look that people want. And sometimes, I don't pick the price of everything that we have listed. The seller does pick the price or whatever. I can go over there and say, I think the marketplace is willing to pay this. And I don't really just want to focus, we've talked about this time and again, I don't want to focus just on what sold before. The past is not indicative necessarily of the future. This image, see, I don't even care about this price stuff. I care about this number of inventory because it's telling me what's going to happen in the future. It's either going to get tighter or there's going to be tons of inventory, means lower prices, less inventory means a sharpening of the marketplace. So the market is getting stronger. I can say that. I can see that it has over these last 4 months or whatever. And so prices may inch their way up some, but they're not going to be a dramatic increase in that price. Wait, if you want to see how the market plays out over the summer, let's wait and list in October and see how the price per square foot does, and maybe the inventory will continue to reduce. But I still think we're better off putting a reasonable price, hoping the marketplace tells you right quick what's going on. And I think it will. Because I still think there are plenty of buyers in the marketplace for area 9, 16, and 17. Plenty of them. It's just, they're not gonna overpay today. They're just not going to. Yes.
So what is your strategy? Because I've been watching on your properties at the high end, on Euclid, on.
I managed to get Euclid, you look at every house that sold over $1 million in 2017 in Area 9 in our 3 zip codes, 777, 8, and 9 or whatever. We hadn't closed any houses greater than $1,340,000, which was 204 Bateman, which I closed last Friday, whatever. But we have all these houses at $1,500,000 and $1,600,000. So we need to get a few of these things to appraise or whatever. I managed to get Euclid to appraise for $1,550,000 and it's closing. We need some closings at the $1,500,000 and $1,600,000 to instill some confidence in the $1,500,000 and $1,600,000 market or whatever, which is what I've been trying to tell the very highest end people. We will inch our way up there. When I drop the price of Clark's house by $100,000, I can get any more showings, I can get any more activity because the market still it doesn't believe that the $1,500,000 market is strong. Nobody wants to be the highest price guy or whatever. So as we close out the ones at the end of this month, you will start to see some $1,400,000, $1,500,000, $1,600,000 sales. And I think it will help the high-end market.
Is that report on here?
Do I know?
Is that report on here?
No, I just did it myself.
But your strategy, like I said, I've been watching, you didn't drop these prices on most.
Didn't make any
You didn't
difference.
drop them on you.
Wasn't gonna make any difference.
So-
It was a matter of instilling confidence in the marketplace. It wasn't gonna matter.
Okay, so then when you say that when we got a listing and it's been on there, we need to do something.
Paint something, yes, I want you to do something. I do not think it's necessarily all price. I didn't say dropping the price doesn't stimulate a buyer anymore. Something else does that. Now, I'll be honest with you. I never know how this shit works. 1638 Harvard, which was Peggy's, which was a very colorful house, which was purple and all those sort of deals. So we moved out her furniture, which was grandma. We painted all the wide walls, basically white or whatever. And I'll be damned if the buyers aren't painting it all back purple again. I swear to God, we're having us repaint it back purple next week. But it didn't matter. I mean, you have to do something. Doesn't matter what it is. I literally had a house the other day, and it had a blue island, and so we painted the island white, and the buyers painted the damn island back blue. But it does. You have to do something. You just can't. You have to do something because I wasn't appealing to enough people over there. So I think some activity of some type creates some new level of excitement. Yes.
But your decision brought a buyer.
Yeah, it did. It did. It did. I didn't have one before.
How do you convince them to paint this house? I mean, that's a costly endeavor.
I show them that I show them on the one that I show them the picture of Newcastle. I had it for 10 months. It was a brown kitchen. I painted it white. I got under contract 4 days later. And I have about 10 of those examples or whatever where I can just go and show the people. And I showed 811 Columbia. Let me show. I pulled up. I had it organized or whatever. The houses are. Let me show you the houses that have sold. And let's look at every kitchen that has sold in the marketplace in your price range. And there wasn't one that was stained like that. And the travertine of 10 years old is not going to work anymore. They're not going to pay top dollar for 10-year-old St. Cecilia Baltic Brown and travertine. They're not, and they don't want a master bathroom. They don't want a kitchen backsplash. They don't want it. And you can show them that's what's selling. This house, I wish you could have seen this house. I wish you could have seen before. The red, I'm telling you, roosters, pigs, and rabbits threw up in this whole house, throughout every kitchen. I think on the island there were 3 roosters and things. And we just turned right around and we got rid of the pig. This was yellow and this was brown. And I painted this whole thing white, everything white, the whole ceiling, the molding, the stained doors. And they live on a block that has about 4 realtors, and it was a hard house to comp. I mean, it was a hard house to comp. Their average, I was the 4th guy to go and visit with them, and the average person told them $450,000 is what they could get. That's what they told them, okay? I made her get rid of all that shit and paint everything white. Probably did cost her $20,000 whatever, and we got $660,000. If you're willing to spend $20,000 to make an extra $200,000. Even 811 Columbia, I'm just telling you, I promise them, they have money, they're very rich. We can try what we're gonna do, 30 days, take it off. Just like my house, it's stained mahogany doors everywhere, and stained doors everywhere, and stained woodwork everywhere, and stained, the same guy who did my newel post did their newel post. We're gonna paint all that sucker white. We're gonna replace all this countertop, we're gonna replace all that backsplash, and we're gonna raise the price by $100,000, and I bet it'll sell for. I really believe it's something.
Do you worry about so are you getting your contractors to do your vision? And
Either one, we discuss it, but Nemecio, that painted my house, painted their house. And remember, their builder, they don't have contract with their builder, so they have people, or I have people, either one, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I want it to be done
I mean,
right.
their style is.
They're not gonna live there.
I know, but sometimes they do, I mean, are you just trying to take over?
We're taking Maria over there and we're showing them what's sold, we're showing this is what the likely buyer wants to buy. They are not going to be 65 years old and buying this house. They're going to be 39 years old. And they're gonna want that pool, and they're gonna want that wine feature, but they're gonna want it to be white and bright and light. And so that's what we'll do. I mean, we'll change their edge detail and their countertops but it may sell because I priced it what I think is very attractive in the marketplace. If you want that house, zoned to Harvard Elementary, middle of a block, you can walk to Antidote, you can walk to EQ, you can walk to Cultivari. You're zoned to Harvard, and you've got all those other features.
What's the address?
811 Columbia,
Columbia.
one on stage.
Oh, this one does? This is-
No, this was another house altogether. This is something else we're talking about.
You have video cameras and recording devices or something?
I don't think they do.
I don't know.
I don't think they do. They couldn't figure out how to reprogram the alarm in the iron. I don't want to say I don't think that. Can I answer questions about the marketplace? Like, single family housing market getting stronger.
I guess we need to put up some examples too, whether it's in the listing packet or something, of 1638 Harvard, of 2010 Potomac, of these kind of before and after.
Absolutely.
Newcastle. We should probably do that. Okay.
Okay, moving onwards. Tied back to the sales. We're back to sales. So in reality, you have to realize that, our world is predominantly tied to that single family housing market. So I want to say with all sincerity, Boulevard Realty has been up significantly every month also in 2017. We have averaged about 20 to 25% increase over the previous year. And you might have mentioned that one of my objectives was to give all of our employees, 23 of them that scattered around over here, raises tied to higher performance, whatever. So I'm happy to announce that the goal was to get a 10% raise over the year. So they're getting their first quarterly bonus, which is 25% of their 10% raise, all this week as a result of all of your work. So you've contributed to every employee getting 25% of their 10% raise. They will get their money on Monday wired into their account. So thank you all for they very much appreciate all that you do.
Yeah.
Collaborative efforts. So we're very appreciative to announce that. We also haven't done it in a while. We're going to have just kind of a little celebratory happy hour thing next Tuesday evening at Berry Hill at 4:30. It's 5:30 to 7ish. It's bring your family, bring your dog, bring your kids, plan to eat all you want. Do what?
To Berry Hill?
No, I don't think so.
Wherever, bring and leave them outside then, I guess.
I thought you could do that.
Yeah.
We might need to find another place.
You can do dogs at Ruggles.
Next Tuesday,
Right?
Berry Hill,
I think we could do
5:30.
dogs.
Please plan on attending. It's just a first quarter thank you sort of thing.
It's not.
So, I did want to introduce Margot Perez, who is back joining us after years of leaving us and coming back. I want to recognize Jamie Klein, who's back working full time over here. Susan's not here. She's been ill and she just got a doctor's pass to drive yesterday. We're gonna let her park in front for just a little bit longer here, whatever. But if you see Susan, which she should be in later today, please recognize her and welcome her back. She's been in a lot of pain and on medication, and called me like 11 times, and whatever.
Yeah, pretty
kicks in. She's called me the previous 10 times. But she is back amongst us.
Kind of says the same thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, how are we doing on our numbers?
The basic agent is up about 20%. The number of the firm is up between 20 and 25% every month. That's how, I mean, everyone's individual, but overall.
More of us are selling than did
Yeah,
last year.
more people are selling than ever before, more participation of a greater number of agents than ever before, which is kind of one of these records. We will try, we'll see how well Frank and I do. We're we're getting very organized on our new spot over there, which the dirt work is going. Promise we're moving to this building over here. And there's the fine line of how open it's going to be versus, the level of privacy. There will be definitely these workspaces like in other modern, cooperative spaces with couches and chairs and interaction between the agent. We have, remember, almost 5,000 square feet on one level and more square footage down below, 1,400 square feet on the patio. But I am very cognizant of the aware that as people are on the phone and there's interaction going on, it can be distracting. Not everyone works well in an environment where there's a large group of people. So there must be some places where people who don't perform well in this cooperative environment can be able to kind of work. I do not want 55 cubicles. We're not going to do that. But we're going to have spaces that can be more individualized so that you don't feel like you're being distracted from other individuals. So thank you for letting us move here and kind of practice over here, because it's giving us a way to figure out how can glass partitions and things work. It is a very light, open, bright environment. We'll be able to probably show you next week kind of our general setup of what we have going on over there. It's looking very good. Yes, Jim?
Yeah, weren't there chrome hats and chrome shovels last week with a camera on the property?
Really?
Yeah.
Was it groundbreaking last week?
Yeah, there was like 5 or 6 people in a row
It wasn't that groundbreaking.
digging shovels.
What do you mean?
Can we plug Art Walk?
We can plug our walk. When is our walk?
Saturday, June 3rd from 6 to
So
8. I know.
Saturday, June 3rd in Galveston's Art Walk.
Yeah.
June 3rd's not very
Yeah,
far.
That just happens to be Saturday, June 3rd in the morning is the fun run.
Yes.
And Boulevard Realty is a co-sponsor of that fun run. We do have some spots. I think we have 10 spots available for individuals that want to run. There's a kids run for 1K. There's the 5K. And this year there's a 10K. Never had a 10K before. You'll run twice around Boulevard. All certified. If you're interested, sign up. If we get past 10, I'll just pay for the difference in people or whatever. We love your participation. We can have a booth. If individuals are interested in sitting at a booth, I'm not going to sit at a booth. I'm probably going to run. But both of them are good. If the individuals want to sit there, let me know. You're going to sit there and pass out candy and kiss babies.
It's so fun.
You can do it.
I have the run list.
You have the run list, Marianne? Okay. And Art Walk, people just go and walk and drink. and
People
talk
just
and-
show up. Yeah, I think
Do
we'll
we
have
have an artist
our
that
biggest
we-
part. We're going to have 2 different artists. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I want to talk about exclusions for just a moment. Not that, if anyone did wrong, it was us on this side, so I'm not blaming anyone, but I want to make something very clear. We sometimes have a disconnect between these. You go on your listing, and on your listing agreement, you have your exclusions, you write it down. Let's be clear on what the exclusions are, okay? On your listing agreement, let's be clear what they are. Then on the MLS, let's be clear what they are. And I don't think we have a big problem with that. Our problem is when we have an exclusion, like a chandelier, and then we go back into the deal and we talk about the stunning chandelier that's excluded, we are sending the wrong message. We've been getting in trouble over this deal that we're marketing something that the seller does not intend to convey. So I just want to make the point that we need to make it clear that these items are excluded. You can't talk about the long flowing draperies if they intend to take the draperies with it. You can talk about current owner has elaborate draperies. These items are currently excluded, but you can envision your own draperies here, sort of thing. So we need to just make sure that we're clear, and where it's catching us, I think, is on the flyers and on the MLS, we're promoting excluded items, which is not good. So I don't want us to do that anymore. I want to make clear that the excluded items are excluded in other areas that we're doing them. Any questions about that? We have gotten into a few issues lately. I think these underwriters, when market's going this way, remember, I always hate the appraisal wall. When you're going down this way, the appraisal world is quite easy because the comps were much higher. So the comps were at $330 a foot and $325 a foot and $324 a foot, and you're selling for $315 a foot. That's not a problem. It's the flip side when you start rising this way and the comps are pushing, your value is pushing it. It penalizes an appreciating market, which causes a greater level of scrutiny. Okay, and certainly over $1 million if you finance at a certain level of scrutiny, which there has been since the Great Recession. What's catching us on underwriting and things are some sort of discrepancies. Tax records say 4,000 square feet. We say 4,400 square feet. Okay. It initially, when the appraiser goes and does his little deal, it's 4,400 square feet and it's $300 a foot, it works just fine. So the appraiser's there, he submits his appraisal, all is fine, except then it goes up to the review, and the review guy starts looking at a higher level of detail. And he's looking at square footage on HCAD says 4,000. You say 4,400. What's the difference? What's the explanation? Buyer closed in the room above the garage, didn't pull any permits. Now that's air conditioned square footage, and you can't prove that it was done with permits. That underwriter wants to kick out that appraisal and say that there's a problem. There's a discrepancy. They don't want to give the same value to unpermitted work over there. I just want you to be aware of this level of scrutiny from the underwriter after the appraiser turns in the appraisal and says it's net value. We're finding these things kicking out 2 days before closing, subject to some review over here. So if there's some scenario like that, we probably need to be made aware of it quicker than later, whatever. It's catching us a few times. And it's not unreasonable to think that they would have a problem with it. They don't like anything outside of the norm.
Are y'all catching that when you go meet the appraisers or when they get the first thing?
We're trying to be as proactive as possible or whatever. No seller had any incentive to go tell HCAD it was 500 square feet larger. And so I get that argument. I understand why we wouldn't want to do it. It's literally typically unpermitted work or some discrepancy like that. Yes.
Yeah, the last appraiser I talked to, he was appraising a house on 14th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I make the appraisal, I turn it into an appraisal review board, which the bank owns or the mortgage company owns. He goes, and they determine what the final appraisal is.
They do.
Not me.
They do. They do.
And basically, they just want it to meet value or not.
Yeah,
They're
trying to protect
evaluating. It's
themselves.
not an exact science, but I think it'd be off by a few $1,000s. They're trying to say, is the value there or not? That's what that review group is doing.
Right.
And it's all determined, the greater the amount down, the less level of scrutiny. The higher the price, the higher level of scrutiny. So if you have two offers and one guy's putting 5% down, he's paying $303, and the other guy's putting 25% down, paying $302, and you're pushing the market, you might be advised to take the $302 offer if it has a higher chance of working. Okay. Questions about that? All righty. Yes.
Okay, so I've been doing some research for various and sundry purposes, and looking at HCAD values and property values and land values seem to be going down.
They are going down. Because they're based on January 1 of 2016. Well, let's go to January 1, 2015. You've been on this 10% appreciation or greater in 13 and 14. You get to January 1 of 15, you're up pretty high. You get to January 1, 2016, they still were higher probably than they were in reality. They hadn't adjusted. It was their comp period. Remember, we were falling the last 4 months of 15 or whatever. So they're still pretty high in 16. So there was very few, and I don't think there were any properties greater, apple to apple, greater in value in 2017 than they were in 2016. I think they were less. Mine Morrison went down by $250,000 on its appraised, on its market value. I mean, it went down. Most of our properties did go down. The high-end properties definitely were overvalued on HCAD for the market value. The appraised value, which might have been capped greater than the market value, usually is fallen in line about the same, but the market value has definitely come down. And definitely, land is off. I mean, it's off 20%. It's off 25% in many ways.
I wasn't noticing that the total market value was necessarily going down.
The total market value isn't necessarily going down, the appraised value is going down. Because there was a
Well,
discrepancy.
So the land market value is going down, but they've raised the improvement value, so the market value isn't changing.
Well, as a percentage, the house probably, it depends if the land was already at 400,000, the house was at 50,000. You dropped it, it depends on the value of each to begin with. But yes, the market value probably stayed about the same, and the appraised value came down in general, especially in the high-end market across the city. But yes, the land usually went down, and the improvement could have gone up or could have gone down. You wouldn't really know. And remember, if you're getting a permit or doing anything work, they're adjusting that value also into the improvement of the land. So if they did anything, you know, after they bought something, they could have put a permit and put in something else that might have increased. Yeah, I think HCAT is coming down. I still think it's going to come down significantly. They said today in the paper, we still think the value of the city is going to be reduced by another 15% after the appeals process. It went down by about 10% last year after the appeals. Okay, questions, comments, all good? Thank you.
All right.
You put that on the market yet?
No, it has to be empty for. That was part of my.
I'm just really curious to see that myself.
Me.
Gotta make up for all the time, you know.
I know, I was like 15, like, you're telling them it's a low season.
Pam, I'll need your help coming up with an idea for your next postcard.
Yeah,
Your